Caddis Maximus here, this time with the Harbor Freight punch and 9-piece punch and die set, item number 95547. I thought this was kind of a neat set because it's a sheet metal punch and die set, but it's really made well enough where it can be used with any kind of soft materials, obviously plastics, papers, etc., as well as sheet metal products. It has a gap. It will work at about 1/8 of an inch. It uses these hardened steel and ground dies as well as this finely ground hardened steel. This would be the die. These are the punches. Hardened steel die set, and then it has this interesting acrylic top. And what this is a guide for each of the punches to keep them aligned well enough so that you don't destroy the punches or the die when using it. It does have indeed 9 sizes, and this is in imperial or fractional from 1/8 inch through 3/4 of an inch in 9 different sizes. They do well oil this from the factory, and you can see that here. And this thing was just kind of pretty handy. A lot of people are using step drills, etc., and if you have a situation where you can use one of these to make holes, these things make really, really nice holes. And that's part of the reason I got it, is just because of that fact. It does work quite well. I do recommend generally using maybe a plastic hammer, unless you're punching through thicker or heavier duty materials, then you'll need to use a stouter hammer. But we're going to use something like, say here, this little 3/16, and I have a playing card here, and it's pretty easy to use because you just take whatever you need, you just slide it up in there, and then it has these little guides which hold it relatively straight, so you just put the punch in there, give it a little hit, and voila, we have a nice clean punch. Although this one didn't, it did work out pretty well. Sometimes it gets a little bit stuck when using paper products, but you can see the quality of the hole is just like any other paper punch. It is a Harbor Freight, and actually all the sizes have been fine. I just noticed on this size, on the 3/16, the alignment between the hole of this acrylic plate and the bottom plate is just slightly off, so it actually allows it to get stuck. If we use like any of the other sizes, such as the 1/4 inch here, it should be pretty darn good. I actually hadn't used the 3/16. That was nice and smooth and easy to use. The pin pulls right out. So it isn't perfect, but these kind of sets are surprisingly expensive from other brands, so it's kind of neat that Harbor Freight has them, and it ends up working pretty well. So this was just a quick video about this set. There's also a second reason I kind of bought this set, is because these punches are all ground to within like 1/1000th of an inch. They're surprisingly accurate. I got them to also use as gauge pins. You can use drill bits too, and that works fine, but on the larger sizes, say 5 inch and 3/4 inch, it's hard to find really precisely ground objects so that you can check a hole size quickly and easily without having to use a variety of machinist measuring instruments in order to determine a hole size with a decent degree of precision. So they can be handy that way, although drill bits will provide you the same effect. These are also ground fairly precisely. Anyway, there weren't very many videos on this unit, and I just wanted to show that it actually does work as advertised. It is pretty decent, as long as you make sure that you keep the dies, pretty well centered. That's probably going to be the biggest deal with this unit here, is just making sure that the die isn't cocked to one side or the other. If you have it really cocked off or at an angle, then it'll want to catch the inner edge there in the plate, as well as catch the little edge on the edge of the punch, and can damage it. So that's probably the big caveat to this, is you do need to be careful and drive it quite square. And obviously, if you're trying to punch through an 1/8 inch of brass or aluminum, you're going to have to hit it pretty hard or hit it a couple of times. Maybe some of the metal will gall up and get along the side of the die, so you may have to tap it back out. So they're a little funky to use for some materials, but they just give you really nice, guaranteed round holes. And it's just kind of an eclectic item. So anyway, I just wanted to do a quick review of this and share my thoughts. I really appreciate everybody watching and subscribing, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. Until next time, Caddis Maximus out.